All right. I just alluded to it. Now we're going to go from the panhandle and we're going to journey on down to the swamp down there in Gainesville. We're talking about the University of Florida Gator. Don't forget it. Gator.
These
All
teeth are
right.
sharp.
Kev, let me first start with this. Everybody's talking about John Sumrall as the big coaching story here. I want to also shift our attention to another coaching hire that they made an offensive coordinator that I'm just as excited about for these Florida Gators. And that's Mr. Buster Faulkner coming down from Georgia Tech. That was me handing off to you to say something.
Well, I mean, I hate to counter your point, but I'm more
Okay.
excited about their defensive coordinator, Brad White.
Okay.
7 years DC for Kentucky, and he always had a scrappy bunch with the Wildcats there. And I think this boost in talent, just the overall talent of his defense, is going to be it's going to, I don't think he's going to reinvent his defensive schemes. I think now he's just going to have the same decent scheme with much better players.
Sure.
And yeah, I mean, I think it's kind of evident in how many of their defensive players they were able to retain after the coaching change, head coach, defense coordinator. Usually you don't see, I believe at least half of their starters are back. And that's crazy.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's kind of, we're meeting here agreeing that we're a little hype on Florida right
I
now.
kind of am. And I will say right now, they still have it listed as it's a QB battle between Aaron Philo, who's coming with Buster Faulkner from Georgia Tech. He's currently not listed as the starter. Tramel Jones, who's the backup from last season, is listed as the starter. That being said, I don't see a world where they're bringing in Buster Faulkner and also bringing in the guys like Michael Mays Jr., Luke Harping, and Eric Singleton Jr., who are all familiar with that scheme, and not putting a thrower who's familiar with his play style also there. Aaron Philo only played for that one game last year with Georgia Tech, but it was okay. Well, putting it into perspective, it was against Gardner Webb, but first ever start, 373 yards, 75% completion percentage. Pretty good numbers. It got him ACC Rookie of the Week commendation. So now you got to step up and play almost that way every single time you step onto the field because you're in the SEC play. You know what I mean? You're not going up against Gardner Webb anymore, and they got a schedule to deal with. My Lord, this is a gauntlet over here. This is a gauntlet. And wait, what else did I have? Eric Singleton Jr. I really liked watching him last year, Kev. I really did. He's going to be, this is his final year of eligibility, if I'm not mistaken. He was at Auburn last year, but before that, he was by way of Georgia Tech. So he's known for being able to line up in the slot and out wide and being a proven threat on vertical routes, not necessarily due to his size, because he's only 5'10" and 182 pounds, but he's really elusive. You know what I mean? He's able to like shoot guys out. But he can also extend plays because he's got that nice low center of gravity. I think that's really going to work well. Continue building that like tough, gritty style of play that Buster Faulkner is known for having. Defensive side of the ball. It's already been pretty much known that John Sumrall is going to let Faulkner do what he wants on the offense. And because John Sumrall has that background of a linebacker guy from Kentucky, I wonder if that had anything to do with the Kentucky, you know what I mean? Yeah. So I don't know if that's another story we could look into. Maybe we should. That being said, they do have, what's his name? I wrote it down here somewhere. Well, wait, no, that's for Florida State. Aaron Giles. There it is. There's the linebacker who's going to be the junior, who's going to be the kind of de facto leader in that locker room. I think we're going to see him come alive a lot more under John Sumrall, who runs that power 4-3 defense. He's going to be blitzing a lot, putting a lot of pressure on these guys. And he's going to need to, because looking at this schedule, they got guys like Gunnar Stockton, Arch Manning, John Mateer to go against. That's going to be a tough battle. John Sumrall is going to have to just consistently be putting pressure on these guys in order for it to be competitive at all. That's beat them at their own game. What else do you have?
I really agree with everything you said there, and I did the research for you. Aaron Childs, no relation to Jordan Childs, but So he had 22 solo tackles last year.
Yes.
Miles Graham had 36, the other
Mm.
linebacker in that duo, and he's coming back as well. I believe another big one with Jaden Woods. He's an edge rusher. He entered the transfer portal, but ended up withdrawing his intent to leave, and he's back. I think an $800,000 NIL deal might have helped sweeten that pot.
Yeah, you
But
think?
again, just speaks to, I think Summerall's getting buy-in across the board. I have one question for you on because I haven't watched much of Aaron Philo.
Okay.
But
Well, I mean, there's only one game to really
yeah, the
put
one
his
game
back
was
to.
he much of a runner like Hayes King or
No, he
okay.
was definitely a pocket presence. Yeah.
Okay, that's good to know because you remember that Georgia Tech Georgia game last year, Georgia Tech was close, they were in it, but it was more so because of their defense. I kind of feel
Yes.
like these SEC defenses, if you're going to have a quarterback who's trying to be gritty and run every time, it's going to go south quick. So that's good to know that he might be
Mhm.
more of an established pocket passer. I like that.
Now, Kev, we kind of both said about our hopes. There's one thing that I noticed that seems maybe I'm thinking into it too deeply, and I want you to tell me if I am. Out of the transfers that they brought in, okay, for this team, the number of transfers, there's 36, four from Baylor and four from Georgia Tech are the most number they have. The only players that came from Tulane were a
Kicker and punter.
punter and a punter. I don't know if that was by design, but in my head, every other coach who made this leap has brought a lot of guys with him. Golish, Chesney. So, is there a morale thing of some kind, or is it like what? Like it's a question mark. That's what I'm going at.
No, that's a fair point, and I kind of came across the same question. If I had more time to do more research, one thing I wanted to look in was the recruits that they brought in. Were there a lot
Right.
that were flipped there? Because that's not as easy of a trail to follow as the transfer portal. But
No, no, no.
yeah, the shoot, I had. Oh, we haven't talked about Jaden Baugh,
Oh, Jaden
the
Ball. Yeah,
running
how can we
back.
forget
Yeah,
about that?
Texas
Yeah.
tried to throw a bag at him to get him to transfer, but I mean,
Yes.
I think that might be one of the biggest examples of these players kind of
Yes.
buying in because
He
he's a
was the
1,000+ yard
leading
rusher. Yeah,
rusher in every game theirs last season. No shocker there. And he was even the leading receiver in their loss to Tennessee.
yeah, yeah. He was one of the six leading receivers of the season. Yeah, that
Kev, there's
yeah.
a I'm looking at this. There's a chance, and I got to look at like what their eligibilities are to see if this plays out how I'm thinking it will. There's a chance that the first three wide receivers taken in the draft all come from the state of Florida. Well, wait, not Jeremiah Smith. Okay,
Yeah, I was gonna
three of the
say
top five.
yeah, I was gonna say you pretty much always have to default to having an Ohio State boy in
Right. Yeah.
there.
I forgot about Jeremiah Smith for a second.